morning, y'all. It is Wednesday, March 10th. And March 10th is my wife's birthday. Happy birthday, baby. I love you so much and miss you. I wish I was there with you. And I hope you have a wonderful day today. So yeah, man, my wife's birthday. Super important day, March 10th. Cannot forget that day. Oh man, so here, Watauga Lake, however you pronounce it, man. Beautiful, beautiful. So I just left Boots Off Hostel. Amazing stay. I stayed in that bus. I love that bus. I'm gonna try to stay there from now on when I get there. Yeah, and I met a bunch of cool people. 2 new hikers. They started at Carver's Gap. They're kind of doing a flip, and they're super excited. You can tell. You know, yeah, man, and they were super stoked to meet me. And but I think towards the end there, they realized that I'm just an ordinary Joe hiker, dude. Yeah, so that is a awesome thing. I love meeting new hikers, and yeah, man, they're young kids, but they seem super excited, super nice, super polite kids. I love when I meet super polite young people, for sure. Yeah, man, beautiful, beautiful day again. So I am going to keep on hiking northbound, and I will get back with y'all. And happy birthday, baby. I love you. So I made it to Watauga Lake Dam. Watauga, however you pronounce it. This is the dam. Man, I love this area. So I remember this in 2016 vividly. Last year, so I did this little section southbound, and when I came through here, it was just all misty, and there was like clouds just running across the dam road. It was pretty awesome. But today it's just beautiful and sunny, no clouds in the sky. Man, amazing. We're just having a nice little run, which is good because next week doesn't look so great. So man, last night at Boots Off was awesome, man. We all Ice Bear, Reset, Biscuits, and then the 2 kids. Yeah, man, it was fun, dude. And then Nate came and he hung out for a little bit. So man, yeah, we had a good time last night. I didn't get to bed until like midnight. But man, it was worth it for sure. Man, it's a fun place. It definitely is a cool little place to just stop in for the night and then keep on keeping on. Yeah, man. But man, this weather. So it's supposed to get to 73 today. So man, I'm thinking I'm gonna take off my hoodie today, man. And I might be able to stop for some breaks. What was it? A couple days ago. Well, last couple days, I was able to actually stop and take a break in the sun and enjoy it and not be freezing. So it's looking up. It's looking up. Man, I probably just jinxed myself. Oh well, probably not though. I think it's gonna be nice. Really, really nice from here on out. Yeah, I definitely believe that. Hello, everyone. What do we have here? A shelter. And what is it missing? No picnic table. What in the world, man? Is that the Tennessee thing too? The Tennessee shelters don't have privies. Do they not have picnic tables? No, some of them did. I don't know. This one doesn't. Kind of a letdown. But let's do a tour, shall we? All right. First thing we see here is this is a social area. Not looking very social to me. Okay. So we have brick made out of brick cinder blocks, which is good. Means no mice. And what's cool is you get these cool little doot, 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 doot. I like that. And back it up so you can see it. It's like a puzzle. So let's see. How many people can we get in here? 6 maxed out crowded. Super hiker bubble 8, like ridiculous 10. I mean, why even bother? You're not going to get any sleep. 5 is doable, but you know, pretty crowded. 4, I think, is not bad at all. 3 would be really chill. 2, very, very comfortable. And 1 would be lonely. Unless you're me, then it would be perfect. Yeah, so, but it's not bad. I mean, it's pretty flat. Doesn't look like there's any, like, I'm not going to do the chapstick test, but it looks pretty decent, like pretty level. And I don't know if you can see up here, nice little wooden sign, Vandaventer. Vandaventer sounds like something from Star Wars or something. So there is no privy here because it is Tennessee. Tennessee shelters do not have privies, but look, graffiti board. And then they even put a little note here, please sign the board, not the wall, thank you. So they put a little sign for the idiots. I mean the people who what is it, what's the right word for that? Common sense challenged, I guess. Yeah, not bad at all. So here's the thing, 2016 I camped here, and I'll show you the behind it. It's a really nice view of Watauga Lake, and you can camp right behind it. So I can put my tent. Here's the problem. The water is like 0.2, 0.3 straight down. And it's a Blue Blades trail, but I do not see it. So it's somewhere around here. It might be down by the AT a little bit, because the AT just goes right down there. Yeah, but it's a ridiculous hike down to the water. I remember in 2016, I said, I will never, ever camp at this shelter again. And I haven't. Yeah, so let's take a look behind the shelter. All right. Okay, before we do that, I got to say, this shovel, man, decent shovel for sure. All right, so we're going to go behind this. So I put my tent right there. And then Unicorn was back here too. Now check this out. That's the view. And some nice little rock seats. But yeah, so that's the view, man. Amazing, right? And then the shelter is right there. Yep, that is Vandaventer Shelter. Not bad, man. Everything about this shelter is pretty awesome. Made with cinder blocks, level sleeping, clean, and this amazing view. Only 2 downfall, well 3, huge one, no picnic table, which I don't know, it's kind of a deal breaker for me, but not necessarily. But the water, the 0.3 straight down, deal breaker, can't do it. And oh, no privy. I mean, it's not a big deal to me, but some people are like, we call them privy princesses. They gotta always poop in privies. Yep. So that's the Vandaventer Shelter, and I hope you enjoyed the tour. But I must be hiking. I gotta keep moving forward, and I will get back with y'all. All right. Hey y'all. So I got to this campsite. It is 13 miles from where I hiked. So the next place is 3 miles and it's Iron Mountain Shelter. I know there's a few people heading to that shelter tonight. So it's 3 o'clock right now. It's still really early. So if I headed there, I could get there like at 4:30 probably. Um, but I don't know. This camp spot looks pretty decent. Um, looks like pretty decent spot right there. And the water's only 50 yards. Doesn't seem like it's that far. So if I stop here, it'll leave me 28 miles to Damascus, which I could split that up in 2 days easily and get there on Friday, which would be good. Because I think it's supposed to rain Friday. Yeah, so I'm not really sure, man. I'm still trying to decide what to do. I kind of think this is just a good place to stop. I mean, it is early, but like I said, I mean, it takes me around an hour to set up. I gotta go get water. I gotta use the woods. Unfortunately, man, that town, man. Every time I go to town, and then it's gonna take me a couple hours to edit. And there is good service here too. So yeah, I think I'm probably just gonna stop here for sure. And to be honest, I am whooped, man. That's so basically today you're just on this ridge, but I mean it's just doing this, and man, those ridges will go like this and they just snake. And I don't know what it is, man. It just wears me down every time I do those long ridge walks. And it's funny, we're at Boots Off, and the two kids they started at Carver's Gap. So they said they're going to go to Iron Mountain Shelter tonight, which is 16 miles from there. But they said they hike until late at night because they just started, so they don't really have legs, but they're hiking far. And they're young. I mean, they're probably like, I'd be surprised if they're even 21. They're probably about 21, 22, maybe. So yeah, but they're like, yeah, and I asked them why they started at Carver's Gap, and they're like, oh well, we just want to stay ahead of the bubble. And it's funny, everyone I've met so far, they're in a rush. I met, who is it, Mr. Freeze and Not So Much, and they were like, that's the same thing. They're like, I just want to get ahead of bubble. I want to stay ahead of the bubble. And man, that's exactly how it was in 2016. Everybody I hiked around with was always pushing and always just looking behind their shoulder, worried about the bubble catching up to them. And I don't know, man. It seems like that's just kind of a normal thing. Each year was through hiking. I just trying to stay ahead of the bubble, and I don't know, man. I just can't do all that. I don't know, all that it's just so stressful, like worrying about all that. I just am not going to worry about it. And the truth is, by the time we get up there and the bubble does catch up to me, which it probably will, because I'm slow rolling. I'm like on the 8-month program. It's going to be fizzled out. And this year there's so many people starting, and that's why all these people are freaking out. They're like, oh my God, there's so many people starting. But all that means is there's going to be that much more people quitting. And that's the truth. The more people who are starting, the more people will quit. It's just the way it works. And by the time they catch up to us, it's going to be fizzled out. But I told them by the time we get up to Harper's Ferry and stuff, we're going to run into the flip-flop bubble. And that's just the way it goes, man. You start getting up to Harper's Ferry and then even New York, and all of a sudden there's all these new people, and you're like, what is going on? And then you find out they're flip-floppers. So, yeah, I mean, regardless, you're going to run into people. That's just how it is out here. But I understand, because that's how I was in 2016 too, man. Always trying to stay ahead of that bubble. But, man, I don't know. That's just too stressful for me now. I just can't think about all that. Yeah, so I'm just going to chill out here. I'm going to set up my tent, get some water, and do some other stuff. And I will get back with y'all before the end of the day. All right. my tent all set up. Man, this is a nice little spot. I like it. It's pretty chill. So check this out over here. I think you can see it. I'm always pointing at the wrong thing when I edit my videos. But look at that tree. It just came down. Imagine if you were like tented right here and all of a sudden that thing came down and you were sleeping in your tent. Man, it would scare me. Like I said, that's the thing I worry about. But I looked up above me and there's nothing that can get me. So that's good. So yeah, so about 20 minutes ago, those young kids that I met at Boots Off came down. They're going to that the shelter, which is 3 miles, but then there's this spring that you got to get the shelter at. So I was telling them make sure they get that water before they get to the shelter. And then I told them on gut hooks, because they like to tent, and they don't really they don't really like the shelters because of the mice. So I told them that at that spring, like point two after that spring, is a stealth spot to the left, and look for it. So they said they were going to definitely look for that. And then I gave them a couple little tips to keep the mice away from them when they stay at shelters, and they were much appreciative. And they were like, "Well, we'll make sure not to rat you out if anyone catches us doing that." I'm like, "Oh no, no, no. Make sure you tell them that I told you to do that." And they were like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. Make sure you let them know." But man, yeah, there's super nice kids, super polite, like I said, man, and I like that a lot. I think they're gonna do good, man. So suppose they're just gonna hike to Maine, and when they finish Maine, they're gonna go back to Carver's Gap and hike to Springer Mountain. And the purpose was to avoid the bubble. So 100,000 ways to through hike the Appalachian Trail. Yeah, so oh, that's another thing I wanted to talk about. So a lot of people were telling me they're like, "Oh, you should get a Patreon account, a Patreon account." I actually have a Patreon account, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, you should get it like a PayPal and a Venmo." I have a PayPal and a Venmo. The links are all in my bio. So yeah, anyone, I'm not saying my videos are free to watch, anyone, because I know a lot of people out there just don't have, right now, especially with what's been going on, don't have any money, man, to spare. But if you do want to help out, yeah, there is a PayPal and a Venmo in the description in my bio. And I do have a Patreon account, but I don't do anything special on it. Honestly, I have no idea how it works. My wife, she got it all set up for me. So I know you're supposed to do like extra stuff for people, like extra. But honestly, that's another thing. I don't know. I don't really want to have a special club. You know what I mean? I want people, like I said, everyone. Some people have extra money, some people don't, and I understand that. So it's like I don't want people who can't afford to do the Patreon get special treatment. I don't like that, man. I'm just not like that. And I know so many people have told me that I have too much principle, and that a few people have told me that it's caused me to not take certain paths where I could have been successful and made money. But what's successful? And the truth is, I just need enough money to do what I love to do. I mean, me and my wife live pretty simple. So yeah. But yeah, so I just thought I'd tell everyone that yes, I do have a Patreon, and I have a PayPal and a Venmo. I have all that already, and all the links are in my bio. Yeah, so yeah, I still haven't even started editing this video, so I gotta sit there, do that. I'm gonna cook, do all my things that I always do, and I will get back with y'all before the end of the night. All right. All right, so I'm gonna end it for today. So what did I do? I left Boots Off Hostel in Hampton, 13 to this spot, and yeah. And tomorrow I don't really have plans, but I have to do 28 miles in 2 days. So however I do that, I'm gonna do it. I prefer to do it more tomorrow because I think it's supposed to rain Friday, but I think it's not supposed to rain till later. But I'm not sure. I have to check the weather again. But yeah, man, I mean, very, very nice day. The weather was probably the most mild it's been the whole time. Really just mild. It actually got warm for a little bit. And then I was on that ridge most of the time. I hiked along the lake, which was gorgeous. And then I was on that ridge for a while. And I'll be on that ridge until I get to Damascus. Yep. So I guess I will talk with y'all in the morning. All right.